Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available on iTunes in 2018. This year, the country remixes. Meanwhile, back at Mama's, the porch lights in. Come on in if you wanna. True story, I used to want to be a country music star. I still kind of would love to be a country music star and like get an award at the Country Music Awards and all like, I love that whole world. And it's interesting because I always get asked this question on the Q&A and I didn't get asked it this time, is like, who are your celebrity crushes? And I have two celebrity crushes of life that I've had forever. And that is Daniel Craig, 007. I love Daniel Craig so, oh my God. And the other one is Tim McGraw. I love Tim McGraw. He is so sexy. And part of what is so attractive to me about Tim McGraw is his relationship with Faith Hill, you know? And I love them together as a couple. So nobody asked that, so I thought I would answer that question on here and sing a little Tim McGraw for you. Anyway, do you guys drive around in your cars and sing music? I have been listening to Tim McGraw and Faith Hill all day today. It is so cold in Indianapolis. We have had tons of snow outside. I went and I got my coffee today and I was driving around and I was listening to country music, and I used to hate country music, but when I got sober at 22 and a half, almost 23. Well, I've been sober for 23 years now. When I got sober, I started listening to country music because a lot of people in sobriety listen to country music. I don't know why, except for maybe all country music is about booze and getting drunk and divorce, D-I-V-O-R-C. But I was raised on Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings by my dad, and I hated it when I was growing up. I thought it was so twangy. And then as I got older, like I fell in love with it. Willie Nelson is one of my all-time favorite musicians of life now. So isn't that interesting how over time things change? Now, I have not done a singular, I did a Q&A with my husband like a week ago, but I haven't done one by myself in a long time, and I have gotten so many new subscribers. You guys, thank you so much. Like, every time it just ticks one more, I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I love this gig so much, right? And I remember, so I have 4 channels, if you don't know. I love YouTube so much. I have 4 channels, and I post on all of them on a daily basis, right? But I started on BookTube, and I remember when I passed 1,000 on BookTube, and that was more people than I had in high school, that I went to high school with. And I remember, like, it was just this really emotional feeling because I was like, you know, like, that's kind of acceptance on a large level. And if you've heard my stories about high school and bullying and whatever, that was paramount to me. So to be where I'm at now and have people on a daily basis, you guys leave me the nicest comments in the entire world. You know, oh my God, you make me laugh, or you brighten my day and all that kind of stuff. And I just get on here and, you know, do silly stuff and share my opinion. And I try to like open it up to a discussion that will happen in the comment sections, because that's what I really think YouTube should be about. I really think YouTube should be about videos that we put out and then boom, we let them go, and then it's up to you guys to have the discussion. And as a super fan of YouTube, which is how I started, if you've been around, if you're an OG Wolf Packer, then you know that that's how I started, as like a super fan of YouTube. So for all the new people that don't know me, I thought, well, I'm going to do a Q&A. So I posted a picture on Instagram, and then I said, if you have a question, leave it below. And at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, let's get right into these questions, okay? Tweema asks, do you fear death? Okay, so here's the thing. Before my mother passed away, she passed away almost 10 years ago, I really feared death. And I think it was kind of a control issue thing. I don't really fear death anymore. And it's weird to say that going through my mother's death taught me how not to fear death, but I don't know how to explain it any better than that. It was just something that changed in me, and I don't fear getting older either. I'll tell you what I fear is time running out. Like, there are so many things I want to do with my life. There's so many places I want to travel. There are so many books I want to write, books I want to read, videos I want to make, movies I want to see, on and on and on. There are so many creative projects that I want to do in my life that I'm more about, like, fearful of time running out, if that makes sense. I'm not so fearful of death anymore, and I'm a highly spiritual person, so I do believe in an afterlife, and that's just me. I mean, you guys can believe in whatever you believe in, and I respect that. So, yeah, I don't really fear death as much as I used to. And you know what's interesting is that I never would have said that. For life, my biggest fear was always death. Most favorite thing in the whole wide world. Beast. No, it doesn't say that. By JoJo Kelly. Thank you, JoJo. My most favorite thing in the entire world. Oh God, this is so bad, but I'm gonna say sleep. I love sleep. I love my naps, okay? I love my naps more than I love sleeping. And I will take a nap at 8 o'clock at night. True story, okay? So I can stay up all night long. I love staying up late into the night. Let's see. If you could have a biopic made about your life, who would you want to play you and why? Well, I mean, it's kind of hard, right? Because, I mean, who would play me? No, if it was like an actor, I think that I would pick, Brad Pitt, because we look so much alike. No, I don't know who I would want to play me in it. I'm gonna go with Brad Pitt. I'm an old school Brad Pitt lover. Like, I loved him back in the day at Thelma and Louise, and I loved him in Ocean's 11, and I love him now, and I know that, you know, he gets himself into trouble and all that kind of stuff, but I like Brad Pitt. Okay, if you could know the absolute and total truth in one question, what question would you ask? I would want to know if there was an afterlife. Like I said before, I'm very much a believer in an afterlife, which I guess this is kind of contradictory to what I really believe. Like, if I really believed that, then I wouldn't want to know the answer to that, right? But also, here's the way that I live my life, and a lot of people don't understand this. So, like, I always say that I believe that things in life have meaning, and I don't mean everything. Like, I don't think, oh, this coffee is symbolic of something in my life. Please hold. No, but I think, like, bigger lesson things have meaning to them, right? And I believe there's a spiritual lesson to what we're learning in life, and partly that's because I'm in recovery, and that's kind of what I believe as a person in recovery. But above that, you know, at the end of my life, two things are either going to happen, okay? Well, this is how I look at it. I'm either going to die, and it's going to be total blackness for eternity, nothing, right? Or there's going to be some kind of afterlife, whether that's reincarnation, or whether that's, you know, heaven, or whatever is out there, okay? I'm not going to know that until the day I die. If I did, I think it would change my perspective on how I choose to live my life. I will tell you this, it wouldn't make me callous or different towards positivity and any of that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, I have to look at myself in the mirror. That doesn't have anything to do with my death or an afterlife, you know? That has to do with me and my acceptance of myself. And I'm just not okay hurting people or putting cruelty out there in the world. I'm just not, you know? I'm not okay with lying about things. Like, being honest is such, you know, a tenet of recovery, and being honest, being open-minded, being willing, you know, to change, being open to change, owning your shit, you know, making amends, all that kind of stuff is so big to me on how I live, that even if I knew there was no afterlife, I wouldn't live any differently, but I would like to know, you know? Okay, let's see. Would you make a must-listen playlist or your favorite song, said H.J. Johnson 10? Yeah, I would. I mean, the thing is that it changes like every day, right? Like, I listen to a lot of Latino music, and do you guys know Lambada from back in the day? I mean, that's old school, like, Latino music. And I've definitely listened to more since being married and with Alex, my husband, who's from Venezuela. And, but like the other day, Lambada came on my playlist, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't listened to this song in a long time. I was like, in my car. Do you guys dance in your car? I love it so much. Okay. Would you ever do a local meet and greet? I would, but you know, like... Here's kind of my fear, right? That I show up to Bob Evans and nobody shows up. Like, and that's kind of embarrassing, right? Like, I know that's stupid, but like, I don't know. Okay, KLAF Flamexo asks, Peter. Oh, so many questions. Have you ever visited Maine? I have not. What camera do you use to record your videos? A Sony Alpha 5000. It's not the best. It's not the worst. I'm actually thinking about getting another camera. Because I have a vlogging camera. That's what I'm filming on right now. But I like to keep it for my vlogs and just film out throughout the day instead of just one long piece at night. And then have another camera that I do all my other videos on. Any advice you give someone trying to make it from a small town in a small state? Do you love me like I love you? Is that an old Donna Summer song? So anyway, I think you can make it big anywhere, but I think it's how you define big. Does that make sense? Like, success is how you define it. It's not how somebody else defines it. And I think that anybody can be successful. You know, I mean, I've gone into some small towns in my life, and I love small towns. I was just talking about this on my vlog the other night. You know, I have gone into some small towns and seen people that have owned, like, you know, yarn studios for knitting and things like that. And they make a good amount of money to support themselves, and they're so happy, and they love doing what they do on a daily basis. Now, we want to move to Florida, but we want to have like a place here and a place in Florida and go back and forth. But like if I stayed in Indianapolis for the rest of my life and never moved, I would be completely happy doing exactly what I'm doing now. And I think that's because I'm so content on a daily basis with my marriage and my friends and the, you know, my creative process and writing books and making videos. I love my life. I love my life. I wouldn't really change a whole lot now, except for maybe traveling more. So, you know, I think, yes, you can make it absolutely big doing anything, anywhere. Cece asked, hey Cece, how are you, sweetie? How does it feel to have made such an impact on the YouTube community? I mean, sometimes I'm like, did I though? You know, like, I mean, I think anybody can make an impact for 30 seconds and then move on, right? And I don't know, like there are, you know, YouTubers that I'm very happy with where I'm at. You know, I said this on a vlog the other night that if I never gained another subscriber and I just stayed where I was for the rest of my YouTube career, I would be beyond blessed, I would feel, right? But, you know, like there are YouTubers that we obviously know that have 2, 10, 15 million subscribers. My thing is that, like, I don't take for granted the messages that I get from people that say, like, you really, like, help me on a daily basis, or I was at the hospital, or, you know, like somebody just tweeted out to me earlier, damn it, I wish I could remember who it was. Oh, it's, BookTube Mama, who I met on BookTube years ago. And, you know, she said, I don't have to have surgery on my broken leg. And, you know, I love that stuff. I love that people feel comfortable interacting with me and feel comfortable, like, you know, telling me about their life and what's going on with their family and their siblings and their, you know, husbands and their wives, and that they're at the hospital and that my videos cheered them up. Like, that's the part that makes me so happy. The bigger picture of YouTube, like, I don't know that I really care that much. You know, my entire life, it's never been about the big picture to me. It's been about the one person that comes to me and says, you know, like, hey, like, you saying this to me on that day really changed my perspective. And, like, I think that's the least we can hope for in life, are the small things that we say or do for people that really have an impact on them. And that's the piece of YouTube that I love. If I had any message to bigger YouTubers, I would say, don't ever take for granted the impact that you also have on YouTube, because they do. I don't think they think much about the content they're putting out there. Some of them do, like Shane Dawson, you know, I think does, and Colleen Ballinger, and some of the people that I look up to and, you know, admire. But a lot of people take for granted, you know, all of the gifts they've been given by having, you know, millions of subscribers on YouTube. That's incredible, right? What is a secret talent of yours? Also, I adore you. You're so beautiful, says Velvet Trot. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Secret talent that I have. I don't know that I have any secret talents. I really don't. I'm a really fast typer. I can type about 130 words a minute. And when I was in high school, like, I did not do well in high school. I graduated with a 1.86. I've talked about this. And then in graduate school, I actually got a 4.0, a 3.8. So, but my mom in high school said, you have to take typing. It was in 9th grade. She said, you have to take typing because you'll always have something to fall back on. And I was like, I'm going to fall back on typing and be what, a bookkeeper or something, you know? She's like, no, like, fast typers are successful in the world. This is something she learned in the 50s. So I took typing and I got an A+ in it, and I took like 3 years of it. I should have gone in and been a business major and just, I don't know, been a typer. But I love doing typing tests. Like, every once in a while I get on the computer and I just look up those typing tests and I take them because they're so much fun. Okay, next question. How or why did you start YouTube? What kept you going? So I started YouTube. Well, I actually started like a couple years ago. I put some stupid videos up there. But I started on BookTube, which is a community of YouTubers that talk exclusively about books. I love it. It's safe, it's welcoming, and people are amazing over there. That's all. It's no drama. I mean, there is, but it's like intellectual drama. You know what I mean? But I started on there because I really wanted to, like, get my book out and talk to people about my book. And what happened was I posted one video and so many people were so friendly to me. And by that point I was watching 20 or 30 booktubers, and I still watch. Like, that's the majority of what I watch on YouTube. And then I just started falling in love with BookTube, and I could really care less if I sold another book or not. You know, it was about BookTube. I loved it. I love BookTube so much. And then I had this other channel, so I was like, well, I should do something with this. And then that's how I started over here. And I did a couple other videos. And then on September 1st, I posted my very first drama video. Who knew, right? Have you ever, okay, so Smudgy36 said, have you ever thought of dyeing your hair back to its original color? I have. I've thought a lot about it, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, you look so much younger. And I don't know that I really care, honestly. Like, you know, I believe in aging authentically. I believe in aging the way that I am. I will say this. I think it's a complete double standard in society. I think men as they age, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, he's so handsome, or, you know, he's so good looking because he's older, and silver fox, all that kind of stuff. Whereas women, I think, have to continue to dye their hair. You know, there's this, you know, whole pressure to like keep the skin. I think it's bullshit. I think it's sad, you know, and I don't know, like my mom and my stepmom are both, and my aunt and people that I know, my friends, they're all people that like feel that constant pressure to, you know, like keep up and look good as long as you can. And I just think it's a luxury that men take for granted. So I don't think I would color my hair back at this point. I might have earlier before, but I don't think I would. Okay, so my hair turned white when I was 24, 23 and a half, 24. It was right after I got sober. And it never was like salt and pepper. It was white. And so I colored it from then until the year that I got married, which was 2011. And I just was like, after that, I grew out my beard when we were in Las Vegas. And I was like, and my beard grew in white. And I was like, I'm not going back. I'm just not going to do it at this point. So, I mean, it looked bad. I had brown hair and white beard. Let's see. Okay, my camera overheated, so I had to stop it for a second. Cracky Bat asked, how do you flick your fan out so well? Boost! I cannot do it for the life of me. Can we have a fan tutorial, please? That's so hard. Like, I don't know how to, I don't know. I've just never thought of it. I know it drives some people crazy, I'm sorry. You know, I couldn't snap for the longest time, and I never, like, people would try to teach it to me, and I couldn't do it. And true story, the year that I came out, I learned how to snap. I can't whistle. I can't whistle at all. I don't know. I would suggest getting some of these cheap fans. I think these are easier than the other ones. You can get these at the dollar store, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I would suggest getting these and trying it. They're fun. You just have to practice with it. Just have to carry it around with you, like, boost. Okay, let's get another question going on here. Nunziota1110 said, how do you deal with the loss of your mother? On the hard days, what makes it easier? Love you, Peter. You know, at 10 years, I don't have many hard days anymore. I will tell you how I've dealt with it best, and a lot of it has driven people crazy on my channels, is that I tell my truth. And when I have had bad days, or I'm telling a story in my vlog, and I'm bawling my eyes out about my mom, you know, I just let it happen. And one of the things that you might notice if you watch my vlog, if you've watched it from day one, which I think there's a few of you out there, is that I talked a lot about my mom at the beginning of the year last year. I rarely talk about her anymore. I rarely tell stories about her. And that whole process of vlogging and just talking about stuff was really, really cathartic for me. It really helped me get out a lot of those issues, you know, and talking about that stuff. And it was really helpful to me. And I'm so thankful for the vlog for that. I really am. Have you ever had to put, okay, Moonstone Megan said, have you ever had to put one of your 3 cute doggies in timeout? No, but they should every day. No, they're good boys. Let's see. Okay, Moonstone Megan also asked, how did you meet your friend Tanya? So Tanya owns a dog kennel, and I was taking my dog in there, and I looked at her and I said, you look familiar to me. And she said, you look familiar to me too. And we figured out that she had sponsored, because she's also in recovery, she had sponsored several of my female patients that I had had when I worked in a treatment facility. And so she said, hey, stop by sometime. I didn't have any friends at the time. I was really socially awkward. Socially, you know, I had social anxiety. I still do. And so I can get on camera all day long and be like, bees, but put me out in public and it's a different story. I have to be like surrounded by 2 or 3 people that I know. And so one day I was driving home and I thought, you know, what the shit, just stop by. And she and I have been best friends ever since then, 21 years. And I say this a lot, and this sometimes gets me emotional, and her sobriety birthday is coming up, you know. December 17th, 1994, I got sober. I was promised a lot of things. I was promised that, you know, if I didn't pick up a drink or a drug, that my life would change profoundly. You know, that people would start trusting me again, that good things would happen to me, and that I would have a design for living when bad things happened. But I was never promised a best friend. And to have a best friend for 21 years of my life, that has had my back, that has been my heartstone, that has been through every relationship with me that I've been through, that has, you know, helped me with my mother's death, my aunt's death, and everything. It is just such a blessing. It's just such a blessing, and I wish it for everybody. I really do. Okay, and then does your husband hang out with Tanya too? Sometimes, like if we go out to dinner and stuff like that, he does, but like Alex has a best friend, I have a best friend, and like when his best friend's in town and she's actually moving back here, they kind of do stuff together. Like we might all go out to dinner together, but like, you know, we don't always, I can't believe I cried over that. So anyway, but we don't always, I love you, Tanya! Tanya Jean Applestein, prettiest girl I've ever seen. That's my song for her. So anyway, but sometimes, like, Tanya and Alex are friends. Like, they talk on the phone and stuff like that. But, okay. Johnny Boy 90 said, I know you're married to Alex now, but back in the days when you were young, wild, and free, were you ever into older or younger guys, and why? LOL. Thanks, Peter. LOL. Or love you and all your vlogs. Thank you so much. You know, like, that's never been really how I've chosen to date somebody. So, my very first boyfriend was a lot older than me. Well, not a lot, but he was like 6 years older than me. He has since passed away. I just talked about, this is Jack. I just talked about him in my vlog the other day. And then my next boyfriend and I were exactly the same age, 6 months apart. He was 6 months younger than I was. And then my next boyfriend was after treatment. And he was a year younger than I was. And then my next boyfriend and I were the exact same age. And that's really the boyfriend that I consider my first, like, monogamous long-term boyfriend. Because before that, I was like, they were just dating and things like that. Though, I will say this, since so many people want to say this, I have talked about this in vlogs extensively for a long time. Like, I am a traditionally married man. I believe in monogamy. I struggle with the whole Dan Savage idea of monogamish. I don't stand behind that. I am a monogamous married man, at least on my end. So, for all the speculation out there, I've talked about that at length on my vlog. So anyway, okay, so that was my very first boyfriend that I was in like a long-term relationship with. We were together for 5.5 years, and we're still civil towards each other. He lives in Florida now. He is, I think, a year younger than me. And then my next boyfriend, we were together for 6.5 years. He is a year and a half younger than me, and Alex is 12 years younger than me. And honestly, like, Alex's age had really nothing to do with it when I met him. And if anything, it kind of turned me off at the beginning. I was kind of like, we don't really have a lot in common. We're at different points of our career and things like that. And what's interesting is that if you look at, like, he's Venezuelan, I'm from the United States, we're 12 years difference, he drinks, I don't. There's a lot of things on the outside, exterior-wise, that look like we're different, but our philosophical views about the world, our long-term goals, the things that we want in life are so similar that I think that, you know, that's what brings us together, really. The things that we want out of life, the things that we want in a marriage and in a long-term relationship are identical. And that's not an age thing to me. That's not, you know, a where you're from thing or all that. It's a philosophical, you know, agreement that you make when you get married. And, you know, I've had a lot of friends of mine throughout the years that didn't make it, and I think that's kind of one of the fundamental things. Sure, they both wanted the kids and the house and all this kind of stuff, but philosophically, they didn't agree with the same things about marriage, if that makes sense. So, you know, I think that's an important piece to that. Okay, next question. Somebody asked me on here, do I listen to Lana Del Rey except for Young and Beautiful Remix? I am a die-hard Lana Del Rey fan. I mean, die-hard, okay? Die-hard! I found her back in the day when she uploaded her video games video and fell in love with her then. And I have every song that she's ever done in my phone right now. I absolutely love her. If you could live in a book setting, what book would it be? I mean, I've only read the first one, and I'm trying to read the rest of them this year. But Hogwarts. Harry Potter. I don't know, like, I mean, all the other books I read have, like, realistic settings, so I don't know. I mean, maybe a Jackie Collins novel, and I live, like, you know, in the penthouse apartment of, like, some casino or something like that in Las Vegas. I'm thinking Lucky Santangelo, Lucky. Would you ever consider writing a book? I have. I have 2 more coming out next year. Let's see. Where did you go to college? I went to Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis. So it's kind of similar to UCLA, but not as good, if that makes sense. It's not a community college. It was more so when I went to it. My undergraduate degree is in creative writing and film studies, and my master's degree is in social work. So Who is your favorite YouTuber and why? I go through so many different YouTubers on a regular basis. Recently, like the last couple days, I've been watching a lot of Malibu Dollface and He Flawless. I've loved He Flawless for a long time. Malibu Dollface, I've just recently kind of like, you know, fallen into that gig. I love it. Raw Beauty Christie, every video. Joel Ritchie, every video. You know, there's a lot of people that I watch, but then I have to tell you, like a lot of my YouTubers, a lot of the YouTube videos that I watch are stupid things. Like I've been like watching all of those like time travel videos, and then I watch videos about like, you know, scary places and stuff like that. Like I like those, or like, you know, alien encounters and like, you know, NASA the footage from outer space. Like I love that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of what I watch on YouTube as well. When and how did you come out as gay? I said Adore Delano. Oh, that like Adore Delano. I have 2 coming out videos on my channel, so I'm not going to get into that. I came out when I was 18 years old. I actually came out on my 18th birthday. When are you going to start your podcast? I'm not going to do a podcast, at least not this year, you guys. It's too much. I can't keep up with it. How do you combat writer's block? Said Lauren Teixeira. Okay, so I believe that writer's block is when you know that there's something that you need to write about, but you're not willing to do it. And writer's block is putting down on paper or writing, typing, whatever, those things that you need to get out cathartically, if that makes sense. Peter, what advice would you give someone in the beginning of recovery? Do what you're told, get a sponsor, go to a lot of meetings, don't pick up. That's what I would recommend. I mean, it's a simple program for complicated people, you know? How many people would you recruit for the House of Drama Company? I mean, oh, by the way, another drama video is coming tomorrow. I need a lot. The phone is constantly ringing. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, shim-a-ling. I never knew when I started that stupid phone thing that was ever going to be anything current, like common on my videos. I never knew like that, you know, it would be a regular thing. Peter, tell us your favorite comfort food. Okay, right now, those sticks of cheese from the gas station with sour cream and onion chips. I don't know. Don't ask me why. I don't know. What's your favorite memory of your mother? My favorite memory of my mother is road trips to Gatlinburg, Tennessee that we would go to for Christmas. And us just having these long conversations just about life. And I miss that. I miss having someone to have kind of intellectual conversations with. And my friends and I do, but like, you know, it's not the same as my mom who had, you know, I don't know, 30 years experience of life experience to kind of say, well, I understand that you see it this way, but blah, 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 whatever, you know? Speaking of which, happy Martin Luther King's Day. My mother, she always went to church on Martin Luther King Day. It was, I've shared this on here before, but my mom marched in Selma, Alabama. She was a civil rights activist, and it was probably, for her, the most important holiday of the year. And every year, Martin Luther King Day, I say I'm not going to get emotional, and then I get emotional. I always miss my mom. You know, she would always call me and just say, you know, be thankful for your rights today. And, love you, Mom. So anyway, let's see. Oh, there's a Lana Del Rey question from Chloe Cole. What's the most expensive thing you've ever broken? Oh, shit, that's hard. The most expensive thing I've ever broken? I don't know. I'm pretty careful with stuff. Probably a watch. I've broken a lot of watches. Would you ever do a reality show? In a heartbeat. I guess it would depend on what the reality show is, though. Like, I really would love to go into Big Brother because I'm a huge Big Brother fan, but I would be really sad to, like, miss that much time with my family and my dogs, you know? Okay. Can you give a shout out to my mom, Suzanne? Hey, Suzanne! How you doing, girl? Boost! There she is, JC Long. Okay, PP's doing much better. Married life is awesome. I love being married. I love being married so much. Being married is such a cool thing. Like, it really is. On top of being like, baby, you ain't going nowhere, okay? Because we got, you know, we got some legal shit down here saying, you're not going anywhere. And, but, no. I love married life. I do. It's just like, I was kind of the kid that always just wanted to get married and have a house, you know? And like, you know, have dogs, and I just never knew when I was growing up that it could be possible that I could be married to a man, that I could live in a neighborhood and be accepted as a married couple. You know, our neighbors all see us, and they're in their 70s and 80s as a married couple. They refer to us as, they'll say, how's your husband? He's fine. You know, and it's an awesome day. in 2018 to be a proud married gay couple in the United States of America. And I can only speak from my experience here because I can't speak of it anywhere else. And it's, I think, a freedom that a lot of us take for granted, where other countries do not have that privilege. So I love it. I love being married. I love it. And I would get married all over again. And I've talked about this on my vlog. We are renewing our vows. We're either going to do it, I think, this year or in 2 years. And we're trying to pick the place that we're going to do it. And we want to do it with a bunch of our friends that are couples. So we're real excited about that. Okay, one last question. And then I am going to get off here because this is really long. Okay. Oh my God, I don't know. Oh, Pass the Cabernet. Cute name. Do you have 20/20 vision? Would you ever dye your hair another color? Okay, so I actually brought props for this one. I do not have 20/20 vision, but since people say stuff about my eyes so much, thank you. It might be my only good quality I have, you know, physically. So anyway, I wanted to show, no, I wear AccuView Oasis. They are not colored. And I need readers now. They are -2.5, true story. There they are. And I wear the same in either eye. If I don't have my contacts on, I have my glasses on. They're very, very dirty right now. They're Ray-Bans. I don't love them. And yeah, so no, I don't have 20/20 vision, and I need readers. Those are the things that suck getting older. The rest of it, I could take. I love it. I do. I don't mind getting older, you know? There's kind of, it's kind of fun to like be older and just not give a shit, you know? And just be like, well, water off a duck's back, right? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was super long. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow, and it will be a drama video. Bye.